Okay, here we go on lesson number 3. So we're dealing with the area of a triangle now. That area formula will always be base times height, just like in a parallelogram, but now we divide by 2. We can also look at that as area is equal to 1/2 times base times height. Either way, we're going to get the same result. So on this first one, I had a few of you asking me the same question. So here's what I want to do, and it seemed to help some of you out. Don't be confused about the diagram. What we're really looking at here is this obtuse triangle, and we want the area of that obtuse triangle. So if I try to duplicate this off to the side, hopefully this makes it a little bit clearer about what all the parts are. Because remember, I want the base and I want the height, and the base is always going to be a side of the triangle, while the height is going to be perpendicular to that base. So instead of the 17.7 being perpendicular to nothing on the outside, notice that I could label it here instead. And really what that's showing is that the triangle reaches 17.7 tall from that side that's 4. It's perpendicular to that side, meaning 4 is our base, and 17.7 is our height. So they always need to be perpendicular to each other, and the base always needs to be a side. So for this problem, my area is equal to the base of 4 times a height of 17.7 divided by 2. So when I go and work that out, 4 times 17.7 gives me 70.8. When I divide that by 2, I get 35.4. So that's going to be 35.4 units squared. Okay, number 2, remember that the base and the height need to be perpendicular. Base does not mean the bottom of the picture. Don't get confused about that. The only thing that I've emphasized is that the base needs to be the side of a triangle and the height needs to be perpendicular to that base. So they've already shown us perpendicularity right here. And notice that this measure is perpendicular to this side, making that side my base. Oh man, guys, my child in the background, I apologize. The area is equal to the base of 22 times the height of 26.8, and then I divide that by 2. So 22 times 26.8 gives us 589.6, but then when I divide that by 2, we have an area of 294.8 units squared. Uh-oh. Hopefully we're good on number 2. Here's number 3. Number 3, once again, start with the formula. I know I have areas equal to base times height divide by 2, but they're giving me a different set of information this time. They want me to find the height. They're telling me the base that's perpendicular to that height. And they're giving me the area as being 14x. Plug in what you know. My area is 14x. That's going to be equal to the base of 2 times my height of whatever it might be, h. That's what we're looking for. And that's divided by 2. In order to solve for h, right, I want h by itself. I want to know what is this mystery value. I simplify. Well, I have on the right-hand side here a 2 in the numerator times h and a 2 in the denominator, so they cancel each other out. And I very quickly find my final answer is that the h is 14x. You don't know what x is, so you can't be any more specific than that. 14x units is the best you can say. Number 4. Find the area of the following triangle, and in order to know the area, I need to know the base and the height, and remember they're perpendicular to each other. In a right triangle, my base and my height are going to be the two sides of the triangle that are perpendicular to each other. So basically what we're seeing here is that I don't know what my base is, but my height, the side perpendicular to that base, is 12. So I want to use a special formula or theorem that can help me find that missing side. I'm dealing with a right triangle. I know two sides. I'm missing a side. So what's the formula? Pythagorean theorem. So hopefully you got that. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed my drum roll. Okay, Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. Remember the hypotenuse? The side across from the right angle always goes in for C. The other two sides go in for A and B. And now I solve. In order to solve this, I actually need to know what is 12 squared, what is 20 squared. Then I subtract. I find that b squared is equal to 256. And in order to solve for b then, I take the square root, and I get that the side, my base, is equal to 256 square root, gives me 16. So my base is 16, my height is 12. Now I can find the area finally. Area is base times height divided by 2. My base is 16, my height is 12. 16 times 12 is going to give me 192. Divide that by 2, and I find that my area is 96 meters squared. Okay, next one, number 5. On number 5, once again, start with the formula. Area equals base times height divided by 2. They give you the area, so we're going to plug that in. They give me the height that is perpendicular to this mystery base. So my height, no, not my base, my height is 9. And now when I plug in what I know, 58.5 is equal to the base times a height of 9 divided by 2. I need to solve for b. I've seen a lot of you guys take that 58.5 and divide it by 2, but that's not what's getting divided by 2. The 9 is getting divided by 2. Shh. 9 divided by 2 is 4.5. So I have 58.5 is equal to 4.5b, which means in order to solve for b, I divide by 4.5. I find that my b, in this case, is 13 inches. Okay, last question. And then I have to take care of my children. Last question. Once again, we start with our formula. Notice a trend. Always start with the equation. Plug in what you know, and then solve for what they're asking you for. They want the area, so therefore I know that's going to be my missing piece. So that means I should know my base and I should know my height, and I do. My base is 7x. My height is 4x. So when I plug in those pieces, I see that I have 7x times 4x divided by 2. Some of you stopped there, but you're not done. You can actually go even further. 7x times 4x gives me 28x squared. And then when I divide that by 2, I have 14x squared. And this is going to be units squared. Okay, that was your third homework. We're chugging along here. Hopefully you don't have any questions, but if you do, reach out to me in Teams or send me an email. Talk to you later.